I'm Daniel Klatzker. I'm the principal at Lexington Junior High School, and I have some guests with me. I have our counselors with me. I'll let them introduce themselves. And go ahead, Ms. Gammon. I can introduce Ms. Guillaume, who is working on going.
Okay, I can't see any of you guys now.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and keep going. This is what we do, you know, through this virtual Zoom world that we're living in. We also have Mr. Dorosky with us, who is the assistant principal overseeing registration and master schedule. So he's going to be monitoring the chat and help answer any of our questions. We also have Dr. Selby, who's also one of our counselors, and Ms. Guillaume, who is our lead counselor. And when they get to their part, they'll introduce themselves and share a little bit about Lexington with you. Last night, we had our Lexington Junior High Showcase. So hopefully you were a part of that showcase. I'll highlight that a little bit in our mid-year updates. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with our registration process, which is gonna take our 6th grade parents that are hopefully a part of this Coffee with the Principal, as well as some of our 7th grade parents and even our 8th grade parents who are here. You can ask our counselors questions and understand what is the virtual process for registration this year. It's going to look a little different because we're not actually going to have your students fill it out, their information in class. So it's going to look a little bit different. It's not actually on campus. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope you stick around for the mid-year updates. We have some cool videos we're going to show you. And I want to thank all of our 6th grade parents for being here today. I know how important this is. And I know how important it is for you to get that information. And we're excited that you are here today. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so that Ms. Guillaume can share her screen and start their counseling presentation.
I thought I was sharing my screen. Is it not? Can you see?
No, it's not.
I was sharing my screen before, so I can do it for you if you would like. I have it ready to go.
Sure.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Dr. Selby is actually going to lead us through our presentation, but I also want to let parents know that we have Mrs. Gilbert, our Lexington registrar, here as well to help us answer questions.
So there we go. We can see it now. And I'm Denise Selby. As Mr. Klatzker said, I'm one of the counselors. You know, usually when I speak to parents, and some of you might have been in a meeting with me earlier this year, I always reference how long Ms. Gim and I have been around. And we've been very fortunate to be able to lean on our experience throughout these last several years counseling at Lexington. But we are really first-year counselors in this COVID world. So we're kind of muddling through this like everybody else in the world right now. Mrs. Gilbert, we invited her here because she's the smartest one in the room when it comes to registration, all things registration. And she is really our go-to person. So she's the one that nudges me when I say something wrong. So she'll probably nudge me about 10 times today. But Tina, thank you for being here with us. And then I also wanted to mention that as we were struggling to show this presentation on the screen, because I am old and I rolled old school, I of course printed it. Stacy's not surprised, I know that, because I always have to have something non-technological to fall back on. So even if we lose it, I have it here. And we'll be good to go. So as Mr. Klatzker said, we're going to talk about registration for our current 6th graders, our current 7th graders, and our current 8th graders. And we're going to start with 6th to 7th grade registration. So this is mostly relevant to all of you out there that have an incoming 7th grader, a current 6th grader. So we've kind of labeled these registration processes for the 6th graders as steps, although they're not really steps in terms of you actually having to do something at every step. And I'll clarify that a little bit as we go along. So the first process to the registration for 6th graders is that by around January 29th, you will receive at your home a welcome letter, and it will have 3 other documents in there, and they're outlined there on the screen. So you'll have a welcome letter that has a QR code that you can scan with your phone. and it's going to take you to a Google form. There's also going to be a couple of reference sheets in there. One's going to be a course information reference sheet and also descriptions of all of the electives that we offer for our 7th graders. And then you will get information in that mailing about immunization requirements. It will tell you what you need to do in order to have your child start school relative to immunization. All of this should come at the end of January to your home. I want to clarify, and this is going to be relevant for the students that are going to be 9th graders next year. If your child is at one of our Cypress elementary schools that are listed on the screen right now, but you're there on a transfer, or your home address is not a Lexington residency address, you will need to apply for a transfer through our district office, and that information is also online. I know that Mrs. Gilbert will be able to give a little bit more information towards the end of this presentation about what you need to do if you want to apply to go to Lexington. So keep in mind, if your child, let's say, is at Landell, but they don't live in Lexington's attendance boundaries, you are not automatically going to Lexington. You will need to apply for that transfer. So moving along, the step 2 process after you will receive these documents is that Ms. Gim and I are going to be meeting with all of our elementary 6th graders that are coming to Lexington via Zoom. And the dates that we're visiting those classrooms are up on the screen right there. So it will be between February 1st through February 12th. We want you to see that so that then you can ask your child about that presentation. I mean, obviously, if they're learning from home, if they're at home on virtual instruction, you'll be able to see that presentation when we go to those classrooms. We'll be showing those students a video that will give them more information about our classes and the electives that they can take. And we'll also be going over the registration process with them. Some of that process is boring, so they may not get all of it and get it back to you and get that information to you, but you will get that in the mailing that goes out to you by the end of the month. Okay, let's go to the next screen. On to step 3. So after we do the visits to the classrooms, it will now be your opportunity to begin to fill things out about course selection and other information as well. So as I mentioned before, you will have a Google form that is accessible on a QR code in that welcome letter you will be receiving. And it will direct you to select classes and fill out an enrollment form. Okay, so the class selection will be on a Google form, and you'll also be filling out an enrollment form. You will need to email 2 things to us. And again, the detailed instructions will be included in this mailing that's going out, but you will need to email your proof of address, which would be in the form of a gas, electric, water, or lease bill. And the email address that you send it to will be in that welcome letter. And then you will also be asked to email a copy of your child's immunization records. Notice in that second bullet, the second sentence says, please write your student's first and last name on the bill. Mrs. Gilbert, our registrar, has learned this the hard way through many years of experience, that oftentimes the name that's on the bill does not match any student last name in our database. So we need to have your student's name on the bill just printed at the top. That would be very helpful to us so we can match those documents together. Again, are they able to ask questions in the chat? You guys, I'm not as familiar with Zoom. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask those questions in the chat, and all these able-bodied people with smart minds will be able to answer. Okay, let's move on to 7th to 8th grade registration. So for our current 7th graders, you guys will receive, parents will receive an email that's going to outline the pre-registration process for our current 7th graders. And in that email, you will have a course selection template. And we say template because it's not anything that you can print it, but it's not something you're going to fill out and physically hand in to us like we did back before COVID. But it will just allow you to kind of follow along as you're filling out information about what courses your child might want. On the Google form, we are going to ask students to select their courses, but this is not going to be their official course selection document. It's simply going to allow them and you to see the courses that they're going to be able to officially select and to kind of prepare for that process, because we are doing something, I'm going to say we're doing something new. Everything we're doing is new, but really new is that we are actually going to have our students, our 7th graders, enter their course selection into Aries. And we've not ever done this before, but we probably will continue to do this even post-COVID world. So the Google document that you're going to get is going to help students to select the classes and kind of prepare their mind for what they're going to select. And then we're going to be going into their classes to help them understand how to make those selections into Aries. So they're going to log into an Aries window that we will give them directions on, and they're going to go ahead and input their course selection in Aries. After they do that, we will generate an email to you, and you will see what they have selected, so that it's not like, so that you look at the Google form with them, you see what they're going to select. Maybe they go into Aries and select something different. You will have an opportunity to confirm their course selection in Aries. Okay, next screen. I know this sounds probably a lot more complicated than it's going to end up being. Okay, these are our class visitation schedules for our current 7th graders to prepare them for 8th grade registration. Again, we'll be going into their classrooms, and in this case, we'll be going into their history classes. So that will be between February 10th and February 24th. You can see the dates there. I'm sure you guys are pretty savvy by this point to just take a quick screenshot or take a quick picture with your phone. If you're not sure of your child's history teacher's name or the period that they have it, you can confirm with them the date that we'll be going in their class to discuss registration with them.
And all of these, this whole presentation is, we're recording this entire presentation here, but we'll also have these slides on our website, and we can talk about that in a little bit after the counselor piece.
Thank you, Mr. Klasker. That's a good thing to confirm with parents. Okay, and now 8th to 9th grade registration. This registration is a little bit more still uncertain. We are actually in the process of communicating back and forth with the Cypress High School counselors to discuss dates that they will come in and visit our 8th grade science classes. So they will reach all of our 8th graders through their science classes to review course selection for those students, and the dates to be determined on that. I believe they're also going to record their presentation to students, so you likely will have access to that presentation. But Cypress also, following the presentation to students in the science classrooms, they will host a parent night to then review that process with you for all incoming 9th graders. I want to reiterate again here, if your child is here at Lexington on a transfer, so let's say they were supposed to go to Dale or they were supposed to go to Walker and they're at Lexington, they will be allowed to go to Cypress without doing another transfer, okay? That does not apply to elementary students, but it does apply to students going on to 9th grade. So any Lexington students, regardless of how they're at Lexington, that want to go to Cypress will go. We're assuming they're all going to Cypress. We do run into students that sometimes are at Lexington on a transfer, but choose or elect to go back to their home high school in 9th grade. So let's say their home high school is Magnolia. If your child is at Lexington on a transfer and wants to return to their home high school, they will need to apply for a transfer to that home high school. And I use air quotes because right now Cypress is their home high school, okay? So if they decide to go to Kennedy, which is their home school, they will need to apply for a transfer. If you need some clarification on that, I know it doesn't apply to the majority of our students, but if you need clarification on that, please ask about that, because we don't want you to think, oh, I'm just going to go back to my home school, which was Kennedy. I don't need to do anything. You will, because your child's going to automatically be rolled over to Cypress High School. Okay. So that information, again, will be forthcoming, and Cypress does a really good job of providing opportunities to ask questions of them to prepare your students for 9th grade registration. Okay. I think that's the end. I think we're going to get to questions. Is that right, Ms. Skim?
So,
Yes.
Okay.
So at
So
this particular point, oh, sorry, go ahead, Dr.
no, Mr. Kratzker, I think that's all that I have. You know, again, I am so much more comfortable in person. I want to be able to answer everybody's questions. So please feel free to ask questions. I know this is a lot of information and it's not always the ideal format to distribute that information, but it's what we've got. So please feel free to ask those questions and we're happy to answer them. Mr. Klatzker, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Selby and Ms. Guillem. They're gonna stay on the line for a little bit longer, and same with Mr. Dorosky, just to help answer questions, as will Ms. Gilbert, especially with the logistics of residency, or because Ms. Gilbert is our registrar. She's the one who actually processes all the paperwork in terms of registering for school. It looks like Dr. Selby wanted to ask another question or had another comment.
I was going to just ask Mrs. Gilbert, I know you're going to love me putting you on the spot. Do you have anything to say that would be easier to say out loud to the parents, that maybe you want to clarify something that I said? I know she's there.
It looks like Ms. Park has a question.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi, good morning. This is Leanne Park. I'm the bilingual Korean translator, I guess, for today. I'm a community liaison. Can you please share the presentation for me?
Yes, we are going to share this presentation. We will share it out to Ms. Park and we will put it on our website. Did you want?
Yes, one that this one I already translated it, so I do have a Korean version. I worked on it this morning, but one that she presented, I don't have it. So can I have that one?
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Barba
I
has
think
that. I'll get that over to you, or Ms. Guillem.
I think I sent it to you last evening.
Yeah, and I apologize also for not mentioning before we started, if we have any Korean speaking families, we do have Mrs. Park translating this presentation today, interpreting. So there's the Google Meets link right there. If you are more comfortable in Korean, she'll be translating, interpreting this entire meeting for our families in Korean. So feel free to join her. It'll be the exact same presentation.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. So here is, in a nutshell, our virtual registration process. This is the letter that went home to all of our sixth grade families and is being shared with the sixth grade teachers, with the students and families as well. This letter and flyer can also be found on our website. I wanted to share with you, if you did miss our showcase last night, the electives that we have here at Lexington Junior High School. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen here for a second. And I'm going to play you a video. If you give me 1 second here. And I'm going to go ahead and play our elective video for you that has all of the information. It's just a fantastic video that our yearbook/art teacher put together, and that's going to give you a sort of a snapshot of all of our electives that we have here. So here we go.
ASB is an 8th grade elective. You have to be elected to be an ASB. ASB is a student government class. You plan dances, do the announcements, run the student store, and many other things. You get to communicate with teachers and students. You get to play music in the quad at lunchtime and help plan activities during and after school for students and teachers.
Welcome to the world of band. Band is an elective choice that you can choose as one of your choices for next year. We have a lot of opportunities for you in band. If you've already learned to play an instrument, you can sign up for our intermediate band and later on move up into our top group, our advanced band. If you've never played a music instrument, we have a class for you. Our beginning band is the class where we teach you everything you need to know about an instrument. No experience required. We'll even give you an instrument. When you get to our advanced level, we do all kinds of fun things. We go to festivals, amusement parks. Even better, you'll be prepared to enjoy band in high school. It's a lot of fun.
Lexington's choir class is a perfect class for all of you who want to sing. We have several amazing shows put on each year by our choir program. There's also an advanced class for those of you who want to participate in the choir in 8th grade. It's a great class for those of you who want to sing, perform, and have fun.
Have you ever thought about what it might take to be an animator in the game industry? Then sign up for my 2D animation class. This class is the entry point for all who want to explore animation and game design. If you are creative and enjoy art and computers, then you'll be able to use all of these talents in this digital animation class. This course allows each of you to develop your individual drawing skills to create animation with your drawings and learn the basic mechanics of animation. You will also apply basic animation techniques learned in this course to create short digital animated films. So take a moment and sign up for this course, and we'll see you next year.
Drama 1 is for all you students that are interested in acting and performing on stage. You get to write and perform your own scripts with friends and get practice for theater arts. Drama 1 will teach you the main techniques and basic rules for acting. You can take Drama 2 in your 8th grade year when you get to act in 2 full-length plays.
The entrepreneurship elective introduces students on how to run a business. Students learn about credit and borrowing, saving and checking accounts, and how to work and deal with money. The class also teaches you how to create a budget based on real life expenses. Students will have fun learning about how to invest in the stock market and keep track of your money. At the end of the semester, students will be able to face the real world and start thinking about their careers, college, and maybe running their own businesses. It's a fun class. Come give it a shot.
Have you ever wanted to learn to play the guitar? Do you already have some experience with guitar? Well, Lexington has a great class for you. Like choir, guitar puts on several shows in a year. It's a fun and interactive class that will increase your appreciation for music and teach you how to be an amazing guitarist.
Home Ec is a class where students learn hands-on about cooking and the safety and sanitation that is involved with it. They learn how to use the sewing machine and even get to sew their own apron to wear throughout the year.
Welcome to robotics. Here we design prototypes, build and test machines, and maintain the software that controls them. Students in robotics also compete in local, regional, and national competitions. We are known for winning awards. Hope to see you in robotics soon.
I am here to tell you about Spanish 1 and Spanish speakers. For Spanish 1, it's for students who have no idea or no background on the language and they are learning the language for the first time. It's okay to have some students who might have a little bit of background, meaning that they don't know how to write it or the Spanish grammar rules. And SS1 is for Spanish speakers, and it is for students that already speak the language fluently and would like to improve their writing and speaking skills. In both classes, we do the Day of the Dead celebration. We also do skits, and we also do a piano project that students look forward to, and that's just a little bit of what we do. Adios.
All students have the opportunity to be part of Lexington's beginning visual arts class. In Art 1, students learn different media in art such as painting, sculpture, and mixed media, and make many different projects. 8th graders who really want to go in depth with art can take the advanced art class, Applied Art. Students in this advanced class make more advanced art projects and large-scale installations, as well as show their work publicly in art shows.
Have you ever wanted that perfect shot or selfie? Well, you can learn how to. Our school also provides a great photography class. You'll get to learn the basics of taking studio-level photos in this one-semester class. This class will teach you concepts like the rule of thirds and basic lighting composition to elevate regular photos one step higher. You'll be taught to handle professional-grade cameras and use them to take amazing shots for portfolios. You can also take Photo 2 the following year to go into even more detailed concepts for photography.
Lexington's woodshop class is a great class for those of you interested in creating and crafting. You get to study the craft of wood and how it's incorporated in our everyday lives. The coolest part, you get to use hand tools, machine tools, and even computer-controlled tools. You get to carve and glue together cool projects, and you'll end up with lots of handiwork experience.
Don't
you think it would be cool to create your school yearbook? If so, we have a class for that. Lexington's award-winning yearbooks were all made by our memory book staff. We learned to use professional programs to design and create Lexington yearbooks. We work as a team to produce awesome yearbooks. Yearbook is an elite class you must apply to join for. You can try and apply for it in 8th grade, and exceptional 7th graders may be invited to join too. Join Yearbook!
Okay, thank you. That was a fantastic video that was put together by our yearbook / art teacher, Miss Hind, and also produced by Miss Guillem, who oversaw it. And so we're going to go ahead and get back into it. I know that there's lots of questions that are being asked right now, and we're almost done with our registration process. I'm going to share my screen again. Here we go. So this ends our registration portion. This video will also be on our website, and this is going to be shared with our students as well. So, and please feel free to share this with your kids so that they can sort of get a flavor of the various electives that we have. Again, we had our showcase last night, which is going to be open as well. So if you don't want to watch the video, you'll be able to go to this pre-enrollment course selection on our website, where all of our forms are available to read through, as well as the links to the various electives that we have to offer. So please take your time. We're adjusting the way we do things here to make everything virtual for you, and to make things a little bit more simple, and to make things a little bit more streamlined. So at this particular point, we're going to go ahead and move into our mid-year updates. And I want to give our counselors and Mr. Dorosky or Ms. Gilbert an opportunity to share any last thoughts with our parents before we move into the next part of our Coffee with the Principal.
Mr. Klatzker, the only thing that I would say, and I'll let Ms. Gilbert chime in if she wants to, is that if you have questions, just please shoot an email to Ms. Gim or myself. I prefer if you send it to me first, and then I can kind of siphon those out if I need help from one of them to answer it. But feel free to email us, and we're happy to answer your questions. And we're all pretty good at responding to emails very, very quickly. So you would get a response, in a timely manner. So we just ask you to ask questions, and we're here to help.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Selby. Ms. Guillem, Mr. Dorosky, you want to share anything before we move on into the next section of our Coffee with the Principal?
Sure. A parent wondered about partnerships with what our district has starting in 7th grade all the way up to 12th grade. I'm going to attach the Anaheim Union High School District Pledge in the chat box. Parents can just click on that and see what they're expected from 7th grade all the way from 12th grade in ways they can get into Cypress College, Fullerton College, UCI, and then go on from there. So if the parents want to click on that, that's perfectly fine. And if they want to learn about more on ways that their kid can interact and get into college through our district.
That's a perfect lead in to the next section that I'm going to be talking about, which is going to be, let me move over a couple of slides here, and then I'll move back to our COVID update for us. So we're in our mid-year update here. And I wanted to share with you some of the exciting things that Lexington Junior High and AUHSD is, and how we are transforming education. One of them is exactly what Mr. Dorosky just shared with you, which is our Anaheim Educational Pledge, which involves all of our feeder colleges, Cal State Fullerton, UCI, along with Fullerton College, as well as Cypress College, especially in the Cypress community. And it also includes 70 corporate and nonprofit partners. This is a pledge that we have made in connection with our high schools, leading into Cypress High School with our various colleges that guarantee enrollment. So this is a fantastic opportunity as we kind of work through our 6-year academic plan. All the counselors will work with our students in putting together a 6-year academic plan with Cypress High School. And one of the pathways that we are working on exclusively for here at Cypress and Lexington Junior High is our law and justice pathway, which is a focus on civic engagement and civic discourse, where at Lexington, we introduce it through our Speech 1 and our Speech 2 courses. And then at Cypress High School, they go into criminal justice and they talk about the law and legal programs. It's a 6-year plan. And if you would like any more information in regards to that, please reach out to Mr. Dorosky, myself, or any of the counselors. Again, Lexington Junior High is transforming education. We are a California democracy school. Our teachers have been trained in civic engagement, and we pride ourselves in our civic award, doing soapboxes and engaging our students in civil discourse. We also participate in the AIM program, which is the Anaheim Innovative Mentoring Program. At the high school level, it is internships. At the junior high level, we get our students used to having mentors. And then as we kind of work through into high school from Lexington Junior High, kids also have the opportunity to do dual enrollment as well. So these are all opportunities as we put together the 6-year academic plan with our counselors, and that our students have. We don't look at it as just 2 years. We look at it as that this is 6 years. And we have great success with our students as they go from Lexington through Cypress High School. Our counselors are still on the line if you would like to ask any questions in regards to these different programs, and they can help steer you in the direction that you need to go. As far as mid-year updates as well, I'm going to go back a slide. And I wanted to give you our COVID update. Now, I do this every week with my chat with the principal. I talk a little bit about where we are at in terms of new policies that are coming through. This is an important piece of our mid-year update. You know that currently we're still in remote learning. We have a new virtual schedule that we had put out, which helps engage students Monday through Friday. It's been working wonderfully. We've had a lot of success with it. I've reached out to parents and teachers. Both enjoy the fact that they're engaging with kids every day instead of the asynchronous days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we are going to be in this remote learning until fourth quarter, which is March 15th. Then fourth quarter, we come back to a hybrid. And we are working, we're adjusting those schedules, but they will be in cohorts. And our goal is to get back to normalcy next year. So when your 6th graders are 7th graders, and our hope is that they are going to be on our campus and they're going to participate in the electives that you just saw. Those fantastic opportunities and activities that we have traditionally here, we are bringing those back. So I'm really excited about that. The vaccinations for our educators are in the 1B group. They are still discussing this as to when this will be rolled out with Orange County Healthcare Agency. And you can see as of yesterday, I pulled our data from the OC website. We're at a 16.7% positivity rate for the county right now. And I put a little snapshot of what 90630 looks like. That it's still fairly high. It's 13.2%, which does not allow us to get into the next tier to reopen our school. We do service the greater Anaheim community. So there's been a lot of questions as to why isn't Lexington Junior High open? Because we do service the greater Anaheim community. Unfortunately, the COVID rates in the greater Anaheim community have been higher than 90630. And as you can see, our nearest zip code, 92804, is about 20.5%. So unfortunately, the rates are still high. If you've been following news and watching, the rates have been coming down. So our hope is that we get into fourth quarter, we will be in our hybrid. And as vaccinations start getting rolled out, that we will be in a normal year next year. So I'm excited with that news to share with you. And then again, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about the COVID updates and where we're at virtually. So being that we're still in remote learning, we want to make sure that all of our kids are still getting their ongoing academic supports. So if you have not had an opportunity to reach out and look at their Schoology pages or read my Monday memos, we do 2 academic supports virtually. The first one is Study Buddies, and it's more of a virtual space for students to be with peers. We know how important that is. We've lost a lot of social interaction. So they are allowed to get together, do homework, ask questions, and hang out. And this is a fantastic group. There's a supervisor there. They meet every Tuesday and Thursday from 2:30 to 3:30 in their Google Meets. And it's a great opportunity for kids just to be kids and hang out socially together in a safe environment. The other academic support that we've been offering is the Lexington Tutoring. And this is with actual college students who will more formally help your children with their subject matters. And they will help with whatever the needs are for studying for tests, for the subject. They meet Tuesday and Thursday, 2:30 to 3:30, and on Wednesday, 4 to 5. And all of our kids, again, can find this information in their Schoology dashboard. So these are for our current 7th and 8th grade students. But to give you a flavor of what we have here at school and what we will continue to have next year are all the various programs that our teachers have put out. We have all of the various clubs that students can participate in next year at Lexington. Everything from BSU to GSA to book clubs to Lexington Dance Crew to speech and debate, our Cyber Patriot program. We have had more kids in our ACE program, which is our mentoring program. It's a fantastic program. We've started GRIT and Girls Inc. We also have our new AIM program that is going to be here for mentoring as well. This is in addition to all of those non-academic clubs that our teachers like to have on campus. In a typical year, we would have a game club, and we might have a chess club, and we would have a sports club, and we would have all these various non-academic clubs that kids can participate in. They just need to want to be a part of it and show an interest in starting a club, and we will make it happen here. But we have continued these opportunities online as well. The other thing I wanted to share out with you is our Lexington Foundation fundraiser. Our Lexington Foundation fundraiser is happening on the 27th at the Loft Restaurant, a local restaurant here. So please go out and support the Lexington Foundation. They pay for a lot of items here on campus. They're great. It's been around for quite a while. It's run by our teachers and the community. And on January 27th, you can go ahead and go to the Loft Restaurant and help support both Lexington Junior High School and support the restaurant itself. And then finally, I did want to leave you with one final video. Okay, hopefully this will play. And just to give you a snapshot of not just our electives, but what Lexington really is about. And then I'm going to stay on the line to answer any of the questions that you may have for us.
I'm gonna use my two hands. I'm gonna move it.
We are so proud of Lexington Lions and our community and who we are. And we are so excited that you are going to be a part of our family next year. You got a little bit of a flavor for what Lexington Junior High School is all about. And I'm going to share, I know I'm being biased here, but we are the best junior high in the district. And we're excited that you are a part of our family and that you've chosen to be a part of our school next year. We're going to go ahead and open up the session now to some Q&A and to answer any of the questions that you may have. And remember, all of this information can be found on our website. Our counselors will be visiting the 6th grade classrooms or the 6th grade elementary schools, and we'll be sharing the registration process virtually with all of your kids as well. So again, stick around, ask us questions. We're here to help support you, and all of that information can be found on the website as well. So at this point, we'll go ahead and open it up, and I appreciate everybody, and I know this is a challenging time, and hang in there. We will be together very, very soon. So thank you. Let's go ahead and open up the chat box. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and let's see if we have any questions. And feel free, Mr. Dorowski, Dr. Selby, Ms. Guillaume, or Mr. Barba to share out if you see a question that can be answered for everybody.
I had a couple people ask me about the calendar for next year, and because I'm me and not a technical wizard, I had some trouble, but I think it's up there. I hope it opened up for you guys. It just will take you to the district's webpage that has the calendars, and you can scroll to the bottom.
One of the questions that has been asked me, and speaking of the calendar, is the health courses that we are going to be offering over the summer. I believe that information will be going out as soon as we finalize the dates for our online health classes over the summer that our previous 7th graders were unable to take due to the pandemic. And we are offering those online health classes again this summer. And Mr. Dorowski and the counseling group will get that information out.
So if you're in 6th grade and you want to take the summer school health program, you would wait until you're between your 7th and your 8th grade year to take that. If you want the online class, that it depends how many students we do get for that, but it is an 18-week class during the school year where 1 day a week they do meet with the teacher, compared to the wheel, which is 9 weeks.
Feel free to unmute your mic and ask us questions. This is very informal Q&A session. If you're shy and you don't want to unmute your mic, you can put your question in the chat box as well. Feel free to go get yourself a cup of coffee and get yourself some breakfast if you haven't already done so. Again, you can unmute your mic and ask us a question here, and we'll do our best to help answer it. But at this particular point, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. We're going to stick around for the Q&A. Let's see, we got another question. Is choir, guitar separate electives? How does it work? It is an elective for 7th. Is it an elective for 7th graders? Can I get one of the counselors or Mr. Dorowski to help with that?
Yeah, choir and guitar are separate electives. Both of them are year-long electives, and class that can be taken in either 7th or 8th grade. We do not have an advanced version of guitar, so it's just a 1-year class. Choir can be taken in 7th or 8th grade. If a student takes it in 7th grade, they will have an opportunity to take advanced choir in 8th grade. And they're both year-long and separate classes. I hope that answers your question.
Perfect. We do have some more questions here. If you got into Lexington for law and justice pathway, does my child have to stay on this pathway for the next 6 years, or can he change the pathway? Would you like me to answer this question, or sure. So the law and justice pathway, as you will go into high school, we know that kids change their mind. You are not fixed into this pathway if you do decide to change your mind as a sophomore or a junior. You certainly can. This is a pathway that we present that we have kids that do follow, but we also have kids at the high school level that will join some of these electives as sophomores, as juniors, and as seniors. So it's fluid. You're not fixed into it.
Mr. Klatzker, for that pathway, does that also apply to transfer students? So if your homeschool is Ball, but you're going to Lexington exclusively for that pathway?
Correct. We're never going to turn the students away. We're going to, if you wanted to join that pathway, we would put you in wherever it is feasible. Now, when you get to that high school level, in order to get the CTE accommodations, CTE stands for Career Technical Education. And in order to get that, you do have to go and take so many of the classes in a row, concentration class, and then you have to take the capstone courses. But that is if you want to have that CTE accolade. But for sure, if you come in as a 9th grader to Cypress, you come in as an 8th grader, we are going to put you into the pathway and you'll be fine. Some more questions are coming through the chat box. Let's see, can we have one explain the elective wheel, please? So maybe we can have one of the counselors or Mr. Dorosky do that.
The elective wheel is a 7th grade class that encompasses 4 quarter classes. So it gives a student an opportunity to take 4 different classes for 9 weeks each. And they're just during the same period. So they'll take 9 weeks of one of the classes, 9 weeks of the second one, 9 weeks of the third one, and so forth. In that wheel is health. And so health is a requirement. So if a student opts to not take the elective wheel in 7th grade, they will be required to meet that health requirement somewhere else. And as some of you know, if you try to do that with a current 8th grader, or current 7th grader, because of COVID, we've had some challenges in meeting that demand to have health offered in the summer or in an online format. We think that the wheel is a great opportunity for kids to try out various classes, and then it also gets the the health requirement out of the way. So it's kind of I kind of push kids towards that, but there's also other ways to do it. Keep in mind that if they do take the health requirement outside of the wheel and they choose to do it somewhere else, as Mr. Dorosky had mentioned, if they do it online, that class will last a semester long, not just 9 weeks like it would within the wheel. Most of our 7th graders take the wheel. The overwhelming majority take the wheel and meet their health requirement that way. Anybody else want to tag on to anything that I might have missed? Go ahead.
I think you did a great job. I think you explained it. There are a couple of questions in addition that I see Mr. Dorosky and Ms. Guillaume answered.
We also had a hand raised on the chat here by David, so I didn't know if he wanted to unmute and ask a question. But David, I saw your hand raised.
Jonathan, I'm going to clarify something because I see some questions coming in the chat that kind of was around what I just explained. Mr. Dorosky and Ms. Gim are explaining that 7th graders have 2 electives. They have 2 electives, but if they choose to take the wheel, that's one of their electives. Mm-hmm. I want to clarify that. Sometimes it doesn't feel like an elective to students, but it is. And like I said, it gives them an opportunity to try 4 different classes and get the health requirement out of the way at the same time. So that would be one of their electives. All right, go ahead.
There was a question in regards to 8th grade registration, and just they might have missed it when they are coming in and when our 7th graders are going to be doing registration. Can you just summarize those dates for us again?
I'm sorry, Mr. Klatzker, was that directed to me? I was reading the chat question. So
I thought the question was registration for 8th grade students going into Cypress. And so I answered that in the chat. We do not have we have not confirmed the dates with Cypress High School just yet. We're actually in communication with them right now. It's likely going to be mid-February, likely the week of February 16th to 19th. Cypress will provide a parent night following any classroom presentations that they do. So we'll have that information about their registration on our website as soon as we confirm their dates. I imagine they also will be sending out information to parents and students once everything's confirmed.
Perfect. Perfect. And as a reminder, our current 7th graders going into 8th graders, their registration is going to be the last 2 weeks in February in the history courses. And our counselors are focusing on our 6th grade parents going into 7th grade the first 2 weeks of February at the elementary schools. There is a question, David or Mr. Dorowski, regarding our online health class that we're going to be offering this summertime. It was, how long is this course typically?
This course is typically 2 weeks long. There is a morning and afternoon class. It is pretty much, again, it's one of those things where it's just going to be a spin of the wheel if your child gets the morning or they get the afternoon. It's just how Aries spits it out. Will they be able to pick? It just depends on what the seat base is for that. But it will be most likely an online class. Mr. Klatzker, is there any way you can let me share my screen at all?
Sure. That would be Mr. Barba giving you access.
Perfect. I'll give you access right now. And David, if you want to unmute as well while I give access, I know you've been waiting for a while, so go ahead and ask your question while I give access to Mr. Dorowski.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barbara. Yes, so my question was probably very simple. I understand based on the chat answers that an incoming 7th grader will have the option to 2 electives. And I also capture that they will have to choose, 5 of their most interested electives in case that they can't get into one of those electives that they wish. My question to you, are we going to have a list of electives that are actually available to 7th graders? Because my son wanted to get into, well, one of the things that he wanted to get into was Spanish. And I learned yesterday that that's not one of the electives that is offered for incoming 7th graders. So are we getting a list of those electives that are going to be offered or available at least for 7th graders?
Yes, I'm going to let Mr. Dorowski answer that question, but the short answer is yes. Some of our electives, well, Mr. Dorowski, while he's figuring this piece out, Ms. Gim, do you want to answer this question, or Dr.?
Sure. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
answering a question
I
in the
can
chat. I
take
think
it.
it was about the course descriptions are being mailed home. So you're going to have a sheet that lists all of the different electives. It's also all of the electives available to 7th graders were highlighted in the elective video that we watched a little while ago.
And to clarify, Spanish is the high school class. It's the class that will count for credit towards their foreign language requirement for college entrance. And so it is only offered to 8th graders. We do not open that class up to 7th graders at Lexington.
Yeah, and I just posted on the chat right now the link to the flyer that's being shown, so you could see what electives are available for 7th graders with a quick description. The flyer that's shown is also on our website, and I posted that link to the chat right now.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mr. Dorowski, I'm not seeing your screen. Unless I'm seeing something different.
I'm seeing his screen. So he is showing you, this is a document that's going to be mailed home to parents and students. It gives you information about how your student can take health, the 3 different options. It gives you a description of all of the semester elective classes that we have, and also the year-long classes that your students will have a choice of.
Perfect. I see it now. So this will help answer the previous question as well. And it will give you a little information about a little descriptor about each of the question or each of the electives. And again, as a reminder, Mr. Dorowski, where can we find these forms, and how is this going to be sent out to the parents?
Next week, between Monday and Thursday or Friday, this document will get mailed home to you. Once you see that document, you'll go to the Lexington website, and let's see, you will click on pre-enrollment courses, and everything is on the site right here for enrollment. The videos, the link from last night, and our elective video. So if you were unable to go last night, you click here. And this is the event that happened last night, where you go to our site and here's our counseling department, Mr. Klatzker. And then if you want to find out about any of our electives, they're all down here with pictures and videos and more information. We also have information on our honors program and our special ed program here at Lexington Junior High.
Just a quick note, we wanted to keep this live for you so that you can explore this on your own, but the Zoom links are no longer operational. So last night we had our teachers participate in the Zoom links, and I was in there as well. So hopefully those have been taken off so you don't accidentally go into any Zoom that's no longer there.
Mrs. Park, do we have any questions from our Korean families in your room?
No, we're good. We're trying to answer all of the, yeah, thank you.
Let me unmute myself. Well, again, it's almost 10 o'clock. This is typical of our Coffee with the Principals. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank my counselors, Mr. Dorosky, Mr. Barba, Ms. Park, and for helping translate, and all of our incoming 6th grade families who have taken time out of their day to see what Lexington is all about. If you participated in last night, thank you so much. It was a really nice success last night as well. Mr. Dorosky, you're still viewing your screen here. Did you want to talk about the student teacher calendar?
I just knew parents couldn't access it, so I just wanted to throw it up for them. That was it. You can keep talking and we can go from there.
So this is our 21-22 student teacher calendar. And as you can see that we start school next year, August 2021 on August 11th. And that's when we begin. And we end the year on, looks like May 26th. So again, I wanna share my thanks with everybody. We're excited that you took the opportunity to be a part of our showcase and our Coffee with the Principal. We are here. Even though we're working remotely and virtually, our counselors are available to answer questions, as is our registrar. Email us. We get back to our emails within hours. And Mr. Dorosky and myself are all here, and we're going to be seeing your students very, very soon. And we're excited to have them be a part of Lexington Junior High School. Again, thank you so much. This is going to end our Coffee with the Principals. We'll stay on a little while longer if you have any last minute questions. But again, thank you for participating and have yourselves a fabulous Thursday. We really appreciate everybody.